Hey everyone, checking in on the stock market today. Bulls are ready to go, but there's a couple things that we need to see to have the green light, but we are close. I'll show you what levels will give me a huge red flag and tell me I am wrong, and what levels will tell me I am right. So looking at the S&P 500, we know the line in the sand is the daily high or low. If this is our daily high or low at 443.83, we are likely to see continuation. And we're going to then be looking back up at 458.12 resistance as a key level to see if the bulls are able to maintain the daily uptrend. We know that if we get that bull break that lacks follow through, or if we fail to break resistance and then break this support, our weekly lower high will be shaping up. So I'm cautious, I'm bullish, we know that much, but I'm also aware that I'm keeping an eye out for a weekly lower high. So I'm short-term bullish for at least a couple of days, but the key is having a level nearby. If I'm going to be wrong here, I'm not going to be wrong by a lot. We'll be wrong, we'll drop down and break that level, and I will exit my bull positions, and I'll chalk it up as being wrong, and we'll move on from there. So it's not like a home run call or anything like that. It's a very simple statement. If 443.83 holds its support, I am bullish in the market. And the NASDAQ is the same thing, QQQ. If QQQ holds 351.97, I am bullish. If it doesn't, I bail and reassess. So every single day, that's how I'm approaching the day. And we can see 4 days in a row of just sideways on the NASDAQ. We're just patiently waiting here. Red, green. And we are going to see a break tomorrow or Thursday. One direction or the other that's going to let us know if I'm right or wrong. So SPY today had a nice hourly trend change into the end of the day. So bull morning, hourly higher low, and higher high. And you look at this and you say, well, we broke the low of yesterday. How could we know to be looking bullish? And for me, the clue was in the NASDAQ, and posted it on Twitter in the morning. If you're not following me on Twitter, you're not my friend. @ChartGuys. NASDAQ 15-minute falling wedge is the only hope for morning bulls. So I see a scenario where bears have complete control. And I know that the only way the bulls are going to pull some jiu-jitsu and turn things around is if this is a falling wedge. So I post that at 8:30 in the morning. And then from there, it continued to come into play. So I post it here. We bounce off my support. We pull back just under resistance. And I say, okay, that now increases the validity of the pattern for me because it's respecting these trend lines. The bell then rang. And a key aspect here to not get faked out was saying, even if this 15-minute falling wedge breaks bull, we have to zoom out because anything under the high of pre-market will just be an hourly lower high. So the bulls made their move right at the open, but lacked any follow through. And what was key there? We never confirmed an uptrend. The bell rang, the bulls got a bit ahead of themselves. And again, we never formed a 2-minute uptrend. We went straight from the low of the day to the high of the day. Where's the higher low and higher high giving us follow through? We don't have any. So at that point in time, this is how I had the falling wedge drawn. And after that bull break lacked any follow through and just gave us an hourly lower high, I then adjusted my resistance line and said, okay, it's still possible that this is a falling wedge. And then as soon as we dropped down and broke to a new low and a lower low, it was pretty much, we must bounce and maintain this downtrend line. Because I don't want to just constantly be moving lines and say, oh, well, it's still holding or it's still holding and just keep making excuses. That would be letting my bias come into play. So I didn't touch my support line and said, if we bounce from here, once we were under it, if we bounce from here and hold this line, it's still going to be a 15-minute falling wedge to be keeping an eye on. That kept me looking bullish. I did not give up on the bulls on the morning because of this falling wedge. If I did not have this falling wedge as my guide, I probably would have been faked out and gotten overly bearish. And again, I'm constantly maneuvering my open swing trades that are leaning bull with my SQQQ exposure, which is some protection. And then throughout the day, I'll add to that and then I'll take more off. So just as an example today, on this big bull move, once the 15-minute RSI got over 70, I was adding some SQQQ and then scaling out, knowing we're just looking for an hourly high or low. And then by the end of the day, I still have some, but much less than what I had a few hours ago. So I am constantly shifting my bull to bear exposure based on hourly trends, but I've got a bull lean. And I will have that bull lean as long as those daily levels hold. So the NASDAQ confirmed an hourly trend change into the close, but not a whole lot of follow through. Look at all this resistance here. I mean, if we're going to draw a horizontal line, 14,800s have a lot of levels. And we are just under all those levels. So there's a wall of resistance here. And it's a bit daunting to look up at that wall. And it's entirely possible. Look at this 4-hour time frame. Overnight, we may reject from that resistance and then enter 4-hour consolidation and stay sideways. Bulls still have to prove it. The burden is on the bulls. We can say QQQ bulls are positioned well for when Facebook bounces. When is Facebook going to find a bottom? So what do I mean by that? QQQ bulls. So Facebook is what? I forget. I said it yesterday. Maybe 4% of QQQ is Facebook. So we know Facebook is at its lows and in free fall, falling knife mode. And if QQQ can close right here, right now, we can say that if Facebook starts its daily bounce tomorrow or Thursday, that QQQ is positioned well to set this daily higher low. It's almost like having reinforcements. Okay, we're doing well. And if Facebook gets this daily bounce that is overdue, if we get it, it's going to help. So that's something I'm constantly watching on. Look at all of our big tech names. Apple is our bounce general. It is our lead bull. And it is bull flag attempting. It is attempting a bull flag. Same thing. So again, you look at this. How do you formulate a trade game plan? Well, here's an inside bar yesterday, and it broke bull. So you could enter on a bull break, and your stop is right here. Because if that low breaks, it's not a bull flag. If that low holds, it's a bull flag. I know trading is not simple, but when you break it down into simple statements like that, it's very straightforward. So the Apple bulls need to break 176.24 to get this party started for QQQ. And then right behind it, 177.18. Apple is not far from all-time highs at all. So again, I know a lot of people are still macro bearish, fundamental, perspective, crash incoming. I said recently on Twitter, if we do crash from here, it'll be the most anticipated crash on Twitter that I've ever seen. But if the financial sector is 2% from all-time highs, if Apple is a few percent from all-time highs, there's no fear in the market. Yeah, QQQ is weaker, but you have to have fear in all of our sectors. And if Apple is going to stay this strong, and if XLF is going to stay this strong, you're not going to have widespread market fear. And you are not going to drop to a lower low under the lows that we've already set without widespread market fear in every single sector. So Apple looks good, but look at all these other names. We're looking for Netflix daily high or low. What's the most likely scenario here? Well, due to the 30% bounce off the low, we're scouting a daily high or low. We've been consolidating for 5 days. We can see the rate of descent is slowing a bit, and today's a daily inside bar. Inside bar bull break tomorrow, if we get it, daily high or low set. Google, earnings reaction, profit taking, gap filled, daily bullish reversal candle, hourly trend change attempt, have to break the double top at 2,800 tomorrow. If we get it, daily high or low set. And of course, Facebook. Facebook, more volume today than yesterday. Yesterday was a 6% range between the high and the low of the day. Today was a 4.2% range between the high and the low of the day, but more shares traded. So a higher congestion, that's not the word I want, but a lot of volume. We're scouting a bounce. So again, you can see that the spring is loaded here, where if we get a daily high or low on Google and Netflix, and if Apple confirms the daily bull flag, and if Facebook gets its oversold bounce going, Amazon's positioned, Microsoft's positioned well. Look at this support to play off on Microsoft, quadruple bottom. Real tight, it's a loaded spring. Amazon, daily, great bounce today, and back up testing its high of its bullish earnings reaction. So again, the stage is set. It's right there for the bulls to just grab. And we can't assume they're going to, but we can position ourselves for if they do. So Facebook, what we need to see is an hourly trend change. And right now, the bears have complete control still, where anything under 225.77 is an hourly lower high. And once we get a big enough bounce on the hourly, and you can see here, we haven't really, this was a solid bounce that didn't result in much follow through. But this is a bear flag, and this was an extremely brief bounce this morning. You have to have a big enough bounce for bulls to then be comfortable playing the higher low to set up the trend change. So we are watching for a Facebook bounce. And again, you don't have to nail the bottom. If you miss the move up to 226, you wait for the hourly high or low, and you have a clear stop level to use. 216 the low of today, hourly trend change needed to start the daily bounce. Then we zoom out and scout the daily lower high. But again, we can see the setup is there for all our bulls to set daily high or lows and get this QQQ move going. Tomorrow is key. SMH. Nice recovery for the bulls today. Bullish engulfing candle. We broke the low of yesterday, but bulls certainly win the day and positioned well. If QQQ bulls can show up with all those other individual names we just talked about, bulls must break 284.04 to confirm the daily trend change for the first time since all-time highs. And we're watching for NVDA to try and do the same. AMD is trying to do the same. MU is trying to do the same. Daily trend change attempts for everyone. NIO is trying to do the same. I like the way NIO is positioned. I've got my swing position from the last few days. I will probably add. If I see the things that I want to see, if I see Facebook bouncing, if I see QQQ proving it, if I see NIO breaking 25.23, I will probably double my position size and just trade that as a day trade position and then keep my swing as long as the hourly uptrend remains strong. But I really like the positioning here. Again, it's just ready to go. Just patiently waiting. Give us the go signal. And someone upgraded it this morning, which always helps a bit. Keeping in mind, if we confirm daily trend changes, we're zooming out for weekly lower highs. We're not getting too excited here. We know weekly lower highs are the most likely scenario on a ton of individual names. Healthcare bullish engulfing. Up looking at its bounce high, 133.67. Very healthy daily consolidation. Financial sector, again, just far and away lead bull. High or low every day, 7 days in a row now. Remember the last time we pulled back for a significant amount of time and then it was just, see ya. This was a lot steeper of a drop, but V-shaped bounce, recovery of something like 80% of the retracement here. And after 40.87, gap fill to 41.12. But here we are, less than 3% from the all-time high. So again, if we're going to see market fear, you got to dump XLF. And it can happen, but you need some kind of headline to get the herd to react. If you're going to see a major sector drop 10% from here. So XLF, tons of space for a daily high or low next time we consolidate. IWM, ready to go. Got to confirm that daily trend change. 203.90 must break, but we're knocking on the door. Want to see increasing bull volume ideally if we do get that break. Just waiting for QQQ. Position better than QQQ. A lot of that having to do with XLF strength and XLV. IWM has a lot of healthcare and financial sector inside of it. Biotech sector, daily inside bar. If it breaks bull, we're going to be testing this double top at 95.62. Bulls must confirm the daily trend change. So it's ready and waiting under resistance. MSOS, tightening up right under the top of this bounce. Need to get over 23.06 for bounce follow through. Still got those positions open. Still got my VRNOF position open. Haven't looked at that chart today. Still just going to be looking for a weekly lower high, but a real nice many-month tightening range forming. Trying to build a base at $10. Who else? MNMD. So I sold some after hours. I said in the video yesterday, I sold more first thing this morning when we saw weakness in the broader market and some pullback. So I'm back down to my normal small swing size position here. And it's a daily inside bar. I am cautious of a weekly lower high. EMA 12 resistance rejection, and we did bounce a very significant amount. That's a 78% bounce. So with all this shuffling around and adding positions yesterday and then exiting them, I think my average on the swing position I have open is right around the all-time low, something right around 80 cents or so. So I will let that try and play out a bit longer. And what else am I in? I think that's about it. So still in some SQQQ just in case, but definitely a lot more bullish positions. NIO, MSOS, VRNOF, MNMD. I think that's it. And again, I will add as day trade positions, I will add bull exposure, but I will be looking to lock in those gains on the day rather than swinging them. Again, I love not swinging. And I've been swinging positions more the last 4 days than I have in a while. And, hopefully it pays off, obviously. But when I have 4 positions open, I start the morning babysitting those positions, looking for clues, looking for observations. Are we having a bullish correlation, a bearish correlation? And because of that, I'm not day trading nearly as much. And when I don't have any positions open, I hit the ground running on a daily basis with a fresh, clean slate, gunslinging. So always want to be improving my swing trading for when I'm not day trading every single day, which will happen. But I miss not having any overnight exposure. So if the bull move does confirm, and if we do get daily higher lows set on all these names and daily continuation attempts, I will be looking to use the hourly uptrends as my guide as far as taking some profits. All right. Do good things. Hope you're well. See you tomorrow. There are at least 35 turkeys in my yard right now. Put out the food for all the birds and the blue jays and the doves and the cardinals, and I get robbed. This is happening on the other side of the house at the same time.